Returning to our top story now, with news out of the US, from California in particular. Tragic news this morning that former basketball star and basketball legend, one of the greatest athletes of all time, actually, has passed away. Kobe Bryant has passed away in a helicopter crash. It was a private helicopter crash. There were 5 people on board that helicopter, and they all passed away because of a malfunction, but the investigators will be looking at that in the coming hours and the coming days. Let's bring in Scott Jackson now from Fox Sports. Scott, good morning to you. It's absolutely tragic, isn't it, that Kobe Bryant, he's done so much for the game, 41 years old, leaves 4 kids behind. Now we're talking about him in past tense.
Yeah, and we see this, breaking first on TMZ in America, and as you said earlier, you're always really careful when reporting these stories because it's important to get them right, not necessarily be first, and you wait for confirmation, but it's apparent now that Kobe Bryant is among 5 people that have died in this helicopter crash in California. As you mentioned, 41 years old, travelling in his private helicopter when a fire apparently broke out, which sent the chopper spiralling from the sky and crashed into the ground. Now, the cause of the crash and the cause of the fire is still very much under investigation, as you'd imagine in these early stages, but it's being reported that his wife was not on board, and you mentioned that he does have 4 children as well, leaving behind 4 daughters. Bryant played, of course, in the NBA for 2 decades, not only considered one of the all-time greats of NBA, but as you mentioned, Pete, one of the all-time great sportsmen, certainly in the modern era. He won 5 championships and was an 18-time All-Star as well. He won gold medals for America. Considered really the man who took basketball by storm at the end of Michael Jordan's career, and then, he was the man between him and LeBron. And just 16 hours ago, Kobe Bryant took to Twitter to congratulate LeBron James, who only yesterday passed him as the all-time leader scorer for 3rd in NBA all-time. So Kobe Bryant now 4th, the all-time leader scorer in the NBA. So quite a tragic story that we're covering on Fox and, of course, on Sky and right around the world, just rocking the sporting world by storm today.
Yeah, unbelievable. A bit more on his legacy, Scott. I mean, there's only really a handful of players who have transcended the game, right? So arguably bigger than the game. You've got people like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, these guys. But Kobe Bryant, well and truly in that mix. I mean, this is as big as it gets in terms of a player who has dominated the game for so long.
Absolutely, Pete, you're right. And he only retired a few years ago, at the end of the 2016 season. So, he's still very much in the minds and memories of, even young sports fans who might not necessarily be old enough to remember, seeing Michael Jordan play. Obviously, it's easy to know what he's done because everyone talks about him all the time. But Kobe's one player that only finished playing, 4 or 5 years ago. So it just makes it all the more raw, all the more real, and all the more harder to deal with for sporting fans right around the world, least of all in America, where, as you can imagine, it's dominating headlines right around their country and right around the world.
Scotty, thanks so much for bringing us up to date there.